then we can switch on to discussing your interview, experience. So do you remember like how many students were shortlisted for the interview?
For the first round, there were around uh, all the candidates, I guess, because the batch
Okay.
strength of IOR, it wasn't too much. Maybe 20, 21 students were shortlisted.
Okay.
For after then, there were six students for the next round.
Okay.
So
And final offers were met to how many students?
only one.
Only one. Okay, so
Yeah,
DHL hired only one student.
yeah.
Okay, okay. And DHL had only one
Mhm.
JAF or any other JAF they had?
They had only single JAF.
Okay, so DHL had management trainee JAF and you were the
Mhm.
only one who they hired actually.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, that's great. So
Mhm.
we can now, dive deep into your interview process. Like as you have mentioned
Mhm.
that there were two rounds. So if you could walk us through the, the detailed discussion in those rounds mainly.
Mhm. So in my first interview, I was asked uh, about a project from my professional experience. So the kind of work I did in my previous company, it was similar. It was similar to the projects that DHL do. It was about the optimization of turnaround time of a vehicle inside a plant.
Yeah,
So they asked me, it drove his interest, and the interviewer asked me, how did you manage to do that and all such stuff. So I told him my methodology, what problems we were facing, and how I analyzed the problem, and what were the improvements what were the improvements compared to the previous process and the process after my analysis. So it was around good uh, a good, you can say, uh, a good improvement, maybe 50% reduction. It's too much
yeah,
uh, for practical life, and that too for a big manufacturing FMCG like Reckitt.
yeah.
So it not only impacts your that the lead time and all those, but also minimizes your cost to some extent.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah. So it was the first question. Then they were interested more. Then they asked something about. Then they just proceeded and asked me about my seminar. So my seminar was based was on the truck loading optimization in supply chains. So it's a very classical problem, and that is not just because it was suggested to me by someone. It was the problem that we used to face in the company. So I was keen on I was keen on knowing my uh, j- I was keen on developing my own solution for that.
Yeah,
So I told them that we used to face so such and such type of difficulties, and these were my prior analysis, and I had done some literature review. It I just presented them, and they proposed my idea also. So what else can be done? So that was about the seminar. Next, they just asked me the same question: why you just after just studying production engineering, then working on a FMCG, why you pursued it for IOR? Not why don't you went for an MBA thing? So I was prepared for that. So I just told them that because uh, when we are just IUR is a master, it's an MTech program. So they are also they focus upon the analysis. But once you just do go upon the MBA, it's they do not once an MBA graduate goes to the company, they do not have that much amount of concreteness to the solution. But when we are in the Iowa, when we are in a technical department, when we are from a technical background like IOR, so you just know the methodologies, okay, the computation tools, you are well aware of that. So all those knowledge can be you can use for analyzing the problem, and just showing that concreteness to your to the improvements that you are proposing to the company. So that is why I pursued IOR. So that was my answer. So anyone with job experience, whenever he apply, whenever he is in the interview, he must prepare for that.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I think this question is specific with the students of IOR. Means this question, will be raised in front of them. Might be raised in fact.
Yeah, not only for IR, but yeah, for the students with the professional experience who are the students who are coming to IIT Bombay after working for 1 or 2 years. So they must definitely expect such type of questions. What drove them towards,
Yes,
this
yes,
transition.
yes. Yeah, I was talking about that MBA thing. Like in your case, they ask like, why didn't you go for an MBA? So I
Hmm.
think those questions might apply to only the students of IOR, because they do not work in those type of domains. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that way, so okay. So this was the first round. And so what was the duration of the first round? How many minutes did it last?
It was at around half an hour, you can say at max. So for 20 minutes, they interviewed me, and then I asked my question from them.
Okay.
So that was, it was just, it wasn't a monologue. It was just it was a good dialogue. So they exchanged their ideas with me. So I just asked them what are the growth opportunities in DHL. So such type of things I ask them, and what in case I just get hired. So just you must use this term that in case I just get hired, because otherwise it would be just like you mustn't assume that you are just
Yeah.
they are going to hire you. So so I asked them in case they are just going to hire me. So what type of projects I'm going to work on, and
Yeah.
what type of work they are also doing. So
Yeah.
all those kind of stuffs I asked from them.
Yeah. So that way, the first round got concluded, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And anything which happened in the first round that you could not answer, or there was some tricky situation in the first round?
Yeah, as far as yeah, there was a moment when they asked me about what things what why do you have interest towards supply chain. So over there I was just I was just stuck up over there. I just mentioned them that I am inclined to, because I have done work over. I just mentioned the kind of courses and my background also,
Yeah.
and I just mentioned one of the domain in which DHL doesn't work.
Okay.
So it was supply planning. So they said that we don't do supply planning in DHL. So why you are interested in DHL? So at that time, what there it was my spontaneity that it was a very spontaneous movement from my side that I said, oh, the dice is going away from me, so I should now just pull the ball back to my court.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just told that yes, it was just because in my previous company I had closely worked with that supply planning team and all other and all other teams. So, but supply chain itself, it's a very vast area. Those people had worked maybe 6 to 7 years of work experience they were having. So I just they had mentioned that in previously before beginning of the interview. So they introduced themselves initially, and then asked me to introduce myself. So that time I got to know that they had worked 6 to 7 experience. So yeah, coming back to that thing, so I told them you had worked 6 to 7 years in that particular domain, but I have just 2 years of domain, so I haven't covered many of the aspects of supply chain. So maybe
Yes.
after coming to DHL, there would be uh, some of the fields which I haven't seen. So I want to explore more towards that domain. So
Yeah.
that way I just diverted that the way I just took the advantage of the situation when it was just going out of my hand, and yeah, drove it back to my court.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. It happens sometimes when things means go unexpected, but then we have to hold ourselves and we have to bring it, means again we have to bring it back to our own, in our court actually, like you have mentioned. So yes, Tushar, so I guess then we have covered, the things which happened in the in your first round, and we have also discussed about some of the key aspects of that round. So then there was the second round, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and then what happened in that round, in that second round?
So second round was by the was taken by two of the members, and those were the those were the leaders or the managers of the supply solution design team.
Yeah.
Those were the front leaders. So initially they asked from the first call, they were asking me some of the general HR questions, like where do you belong, just introduce yourself, from where do you belong, your native place, would it be comfortable for you in case you work in Mumbai, or do you have any of the relatives over here? So they ask questions about my personal life, about my family, and what does my father do, and all those things. And suddenly after then they were they asked only one technical question, and that too as per my comfort zone. What they asked was that just tell us any of your favorite projects you had worked upon.
Okay.
So yeah, I just mentioned them about my master thesis, which was on scheduling pickup and drop vehicles. It was the milk run scheduling.
Mhm.
So I told them what are the problems, what problems we face as per the literature review and all those things, and propose my plan also, what I am going to do in future.
Okay.
Yeah.
So any cross question on this? Like, did they ask something back, on your empty, on your this project?
No, there wasn't any cross questioning on that.
Okay, so second round was more or less they were trying to know you more as a person. Like they discussed your, your personal things like your family, what does your father do, and all these things, and your relocation things they discussed. So Tushar,
Mhm.
you have been hired for which location? Mumbai or?
Yeah, it's for Mumbai.
Okay, it's
Uh,
for Mumbai. So you'll be joining
yeah,
Mumbai DHL Mumbai.
yeah.
This way the two round was there, right? Only two rounds were there, no?
Yeah. There are only these two rounds.
Okay, okay. So, okay. So, anything, some tricky situation in this round, like in the second round, or everything
Uh,
was planned?
this round it went very smoothly.
Mhm.
Um, and my first round also it was a bit good. This round went very smoothly since they weren't trying to trap me somewhere.
Or grill
Uh,
you? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so we have discussed about your interview rounds, and there were two rounds, and we have talked about detail, like what were the focus of each round. So, anything you want to add to the interview part? You want to add anything?
For the interview part, I would just tell few of the things that you must do, and certain of the things that you must prohibit while giving your interview. So always you must have a question to ask to the interviewer. That is just because it would give an impression that the candidate is really interested with us, and
Yeah.
by asking the question, I doesn't mean that you should ask anything or everything. Maybe it should be the question you ask, it should be presentable.
Mhm.
Let's take example, in case you just want to ask the company, what do you look in for a candidate when while you interview him or you want to hire? Okay,
Yeah.
so that is the basic way you will just ask him. So I had made up in mind in case, but I didn't ask it. I had made that thing with my because see, we have a concept of dream company. So the different way to ask this thing is that, sir, yeah, you must be aware of about that all the students, they have a concept of dream company or dream firm. So is it like that the interviewer also they have that perspective with the candidate? Do they have the idea of a dream candidate? If yes, what expectations do they have from him?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's the way how you present your questions also.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so it also many a times it also turn the ball to your court.
Yeah,
Okay, in case your interview you performed very not performed very well, but the way you ask the questions, it may drive the interest of the interviewer.
yeah,
Okay, so this is a first and foremost thing. Another thing is that whenever the interviewer is asking you to introduce yourself, so your your introduction should be optimized. It shouldn't be like that. It is too small, or you just keep on talking maybe for 10 minutes,
yeah.
maybe
Yes,
3 to 3 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes. It's enough. So and it should just uh, cover your whatever work you have done. Okay, and that too in a nutshell.
yes,
So yeah, and always whenever they ask the question, just leave loopholes on that, so that they just try to dig upon that, and you can just answer them, as because it will just drive their interest also. Okay, he did this, so how you managed to do this? So what were the problems you faced? Okay, so these are some do's and don'ts for the interview.
yes, definitely. Yeah, I guess these things are very, very basic things, but these things are very helpful in an interview. Another thing, the significance of POR. What is your take on this? Like in your interview, did your POR, means we know that you have worked as a company coordinator for the placement team at IIT Bombay. So did your POR means help you in any, in any aspect? Did it help you?
So, through this particular, I would be just talking about this particular POR, that CCPOR.
Yes.
So, when throughout the tenure of this placement season, when you just talk with the HRs and all those, with the HRs and senior managers and the top directors of the company, so it definitely improves your communication skills. Okay, it removes that fear of the interview from your mind.
Yeah.
You It also sometimes you develop some unhidden skills of yourself. Like for my case, it was the spontaneity. As I mentioned in my interview, when it was when
Mm.
it it seemed that it was just going out of my hand. It was just my spontaneity that helped me to get back. Okay, so POR, that CCPOR, it helped me till that thing. Okay, and yeah, for in case you just look upon the other companies, there are certain companies that also ask the highest POR that the student have with him. Okay, so based on that also, I don't exactly remember the name of the company, but yeah, they that have an effect also maybe for shortlisting, because those things, they reflect your leadership quality.
Yes. Yes.
Along with that, as I mentioned, that definitely they also show your adaptability and communication skills, they are also enhanced. Okay, and along with POR, for the students, they many of those, they are just confused about the CPI cutoff.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah. So CPI thing, what CPI, it would just help you to, maybe not for all the companies, but few of the companies, it it will just help you to get shortlisted.
Yes.
Okay. But at the end of, but when you face the interview, it will be your entire knowledge. Okay. How you present, the way you present yourself. Okay. And your and aspects like that, spontaneity I told you, and your preparation also. Okay, all those things matter.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, PO or CPI, these things are really important. And as you have mentioned, that CPI will help you get in the interview. But once you are in the interview, then of course your subject knowledge, your skills will be checked at that point of time. Yes, sure. So Tushar, so I guess we have covered, at least the things which we had planned to discuss actually.
Hmm.
So then, before we wrap up, any advice do you have for your upcoming MTech IUR students? You would like to send any message to them?
So for them, what I would just like to the current batch. Okay, so they have close contact with me regarding the placement scenario. So not only me, but their other my other fellow mates also, their seniors, how to prepare and all those things. So yeah, I would just say that many of the companies over here, they are just from 60 to 70% companies that come to IIT Bombay, they are from IT background, which would be requiring your coding skills. And in case they offer non-coding profile also, some of them they would be just asking you those coding questions. So just prepare your coding questions, okay? And some many of them like me are towards are interested in the supply chain and logistics field, supply chain logistics and operations domain. So for them, what I would just say that these companies, they would be looking up not only upon your course structure and your grades, but upon your communication skills also. Okay, so it's more about management over there.
Yeah.
So just focus, just try to build upon that. Okay, and yeah, always have plan B.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. It's because it's not only me who says, but my seniors also told me that. Okay, it's a pro advice, just not to stick for a particular domain. And another thing is that the students they have that dream company thing. It went away from me, and I was not shortlisted. So don't get disheartened. Okay, there are lot number of firms. Okay, just don't get attached towards a particular company or particular profile.
Yeah.
Okay, and just to try to, until and unless your name is on the placement blog officially, just give your interview just like the with that viewpoint in your mind that you are not shortlisted till now in any of the company.
Yes.
Okay, it happens a lot just because yeah, your current interview it went very well, so you are sure and sure that you are going to get selected, but there must be some other candidate
Yes.
the company which company liked and they preferred over you.
Yes.
So over there, in case you just get demotivated, so you may not perform very good in the your upcoming interviews.
Yes.
So just held your heads high every time. That is what my message is for them.
Yeah, yeah. I think the last point that which we can say that do not celebrate it too early. Wait for the right time, and only when you are sure that you have been selected, then you should take rest. Else you should attend all the interview with full enthusiasm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tushar. So I guess we have covered a lot of things now, and definitely your experience will help a lot of students in the upcoming placement season. So they will really, at least a lot of things will be cleared in out in their mind now. And I really hope that this video will be helpful for a lot of students. And so yeah, so thank you very much. Thank you for taking out time. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Da. Thank you so much. Bye.